right, everyone's coming back.
Wonder if anybody's done a AI note-taking bake-off, because it's certainly helpful, and there's got to be dozens of them now. And I'd love to see one that's not based on who spent the most money on marketing, but which product actually works the best. Maybe we could ask Bard and ChatGPT, which AI note taker should I use?
There you go.
Yeah, Steve, I agree with you. Never enough breakout time.
Always, right? Always. Maybe one of these times, Ashley was just make a full-on breakout, session, and then do like 3 random ones in a row.
I like that. I like that. You never know who you're going to get to. It's great.
Right? Yeah, switch it up.
Awesome.
Chat roulette.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, is there anyone new in the room? We like to take this time to give folks who haven't been on the calls before, haven't been on in a really long time, introduce or reintroduce themselves. Feel free to raise your hand or let me know.
Yeah, this is Daniel. This is my first time.
Yeah, Daniel, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is my first time. Literally, I saw a LinkedIn post like 30 seconds and jumped on it and was in a call. So was kind of figuring out what's going on because it went fast, but I'm glad to be here.
Love it. Hey, I love that our marketing's working. That's awesome. That makes me happy.
And I'm Trent. I'm the same as Daniel. I just saw it on LinkedIn and jumped in.
Good. Awesome. Who's next? Matt Jensen?
Hey, everybody. I was a part of this group maybe about a year or so, a year plus ago, and I've recently just rediscovered it. So I'm back. That's
back.
And then actually literally just realized that Blaine is going to be doing a little talk here. So I used to work with Blaine up until about February. So looking forward to it.
What do you do, Matt?
I was at Fiverr until about February, and now started up a consulting company for community consulting and digital engagement.
Great, awesome.
Great, thanks for being here. I'm not going to pronounce your name correctly. Yeah, you're already laughing. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Bojanka. I go by Boj. I learned about this community from one of our advisors, Wagner Danuzo. He introduced me to, he introduced me to Brandon from Open Assembly, and he was the one who invited me to these meetups. I'm a founder. I run a skills AI startup, and I'm excited to meet everyone and appreciate getting invited to the session today.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. Julia?
Yes, sorry, I was trying to find my mute button. I'm sorry I'm off camera today. I was not anticipating being here, but I saw Ben Ross's post on LinkedIn like 10 minutes ago, Ben being the connector that he is. I'm a people business partner working in tech, and this is my first time being in this group, so not entirely sure what it's all about yet, but looking forward to learning more and see if this is something to be a part of in the future.
Nice. Well, you'll get a great crash course today, and we've got a great topic ahead. Awesome. If there's anyone else, if you want to just put your information in your LinkedIn profile in the chat, we'll make sure to connect with you there. Brandon, any announcements you want to share with the group today?
Nothing new other than last week I announced we're having our event here in Boulder, Colorado on October 4th through the 6th. It's called Transform Work. You can find out more about it at transformworksummit.com. And if anyone's interested in attending, let me know. And also sponsorship as well. You can reach out to me and walk you through everything. And I'll put some information in the chat.
Nice, Brandon. Thank you. Anyone else from the group have any announcements or upcoming events that they want to promote and share here? No? All right. Well, if you do, you can always put it in the chat too. We'll make sure to connect with you there and sign up. So thank you. Great. Well, we'll just get started. So we've got 2 great guests today talking about the creator economy. From the little that I know, it sounds like there's a lot left to discover and to, identify I know in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of changes and shifts in the creator economy, especially when it comes to VC investments and the rise of AI powered apps. But we've got two great experts with us today who have really been with it since the inception and are really focused on where the big opportunities lie in the creator economy. So we definitely want to welcome back one of our favorites, independent workforce expert, Steve King. And here with him, we're also really excited to have Blaine Doherty, who is an influencer marketing expert and Fiverr's influencer marketing manager. So they've got some new research to share with you today, as well as some insights in what they're seeing in the market. So have you guys take it away.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Let me share my screen here. And get it back to the beginning. So today, can everybody see my screen? Not yes, great. So I'm going to talk about the creator economy briefly, but the three things I really want to have you come away with is, one is it's big and it's growing rapidly. Most freelancers, in addition to their creator economy work, and we'll talk about that in a bit, also freelance in traditional freelancing roles. And so they're also a large freelance group. And they have a higher rate of use of online market platforms, online talent platforms to find work, quite a lot higher than freelancers overall. And so they are a large target market for many of you in the audience. They're also an interesting group to hire if you're on the corporate side. And that's really the full point of my presentation. And so now you're going to have to listen to me drone through a few slides, but I'm really kind of done. In terms of what I wanted to get across. So first off, let me just explain who I'm going to cover. There's a lot of creator economy definitions out there. There's no standard definition. It's kind of like the gig economy. And so there can be a lot of confusion. We focus on independent workers, self-employed solopreneurs, freelancers, et cetera, who actually earn money by creating and distributing digital content. So that's both entertainment content and other forms of content. And we don't care about the format. We include them if they're doing videos, writing, art, whatever it may be. And so that's our definition. And because of that, we have a fairly narrow definition. You'll see a lot of other studies with much bigger numbers than we have. Most of those include other segments. My favorite is Adobe, which has an excellent creator economy study they did last year. But they found that there were 300 million people doing it, which because they basically included anybody who would potentially use one of their tools. And that's great, but we're focused in on this independent worker group. The interesting thing about it is, as I said, it's growing rapidly. It's grown about 50% over the last couple of years. The first year we did this study was in 2019. Took us a little while to get our surveys right, so we didn't publish until 2020. So this was our third year in 2022. And as I pointed out before, it's big. It's up to 8 million people, a little over 8 million saying they earn money. And it continues to grow rapidly. And I'll talk a little bit about the reasons why it continues to grow in a second. And oh, by the way, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. And Ashley's volunteered to help us figure that out at the end. I forgot to say that. The independent workforce, not surprisingly, skews young. When you think about the tools, Twitch, TikTok, even YouTube, and a lot of the other tools that are used by this group to generate revenue, they're users themselves. And so you have a very high percentage, 27% are Gen Zers, which is much higher than the overall rate for independent work for Gen Z. And one of the interesting things about Gen Z is every year there's a lot more of them that enter our survey at age 18, but also enter the workforce. And so they're one of the reasons why it's going to continue to grow. We asked specifically in our surveys around their independent work time and how much time they spend doing creator economy work as opposed to other types of work. And as you can see here, most of them are part-timers. And even the full-timers, the 36% that say they're full-time, about 80% of them tell us they also do other kinds of freelancing work. And most of the part-timers also tell us they do other kinds of freelancing work. So that gets back to the fact that in addition to the creator economy work, they're also active freelancers. One of the biggest issues in this economy is what's called the middle class problem, which is simply that it's very hard to earn a lot of money or even middle class money being a creator. Having said that, there are about, our survey projects to about 740 actually, creators that earn more than $1 million per year. And I have to warn you, this is survey data on income, and so wide margins of errors in survey data on income. But directionally, we believe this is correct, and it fits with some other sort of administrative data that we've looked at. And so when you look at it though, even the full timers are telling us they're only earning about 27,000 median income from their creator economy activities. So so there's sort of two things out of this. One is for the creator economy to continue to thrive, we're going to have to figure out how to get those income levels up, both full and part-time, but also the creators themselves have to do other things. And if you study the creator economy at all, or if you just go look at articles, you'll see literally many articles on this problem. What are we going to do to solve the middle class income problem? Despite that, creators are quite satisfied with their work. 83% tell us they're highly satisfied. 80% tell us they're going to continue doing it. Despite the lack of income, despite there are a lot of challenges, I'm not going to go into those today, but they're in the report. So feel free to look at it there. Despite that, they're very happy with their work, and it's because they're independent, they're autonomous, and they have and they're getting to do creative work. Going forward, it's one of the most aspirational sections of our economy. As I said, we had 8.1 million earning income. Another close to 5 million, 4.9 million told us, yes, I'm participating in the creator economy, but I'm not yet earning income. And half of them said we'll earn income over the next year. The other half said sometime in the near future. In addition to that, we asked people with traditional jobs that are in creative fields if they're going to be joining the creator economy. And a stunning 41% said yes over the next 2 to 3 years, definitely or probably. Way too high. Obviously, that won't happen. But the interest level in the creator economy gets so much attention. The stars, the Mr. Beasts of the world make so much money. And the lifestyle looks like it's so much fun. I mean, fame and money, always an attractor for people, that we have no doubt that it'll continue to grow at a very, very rapid rate. So that's all I wanted to cover today. Let me stop sharing my screen and turn it over to Blaine, who's going to talk about some other pieces of the creator economy. So Blaine's from Fiverr, and please take it away.
Thank you very much. Let me just share my screen and get into the presentation. So thanks everyone for having me today. I'll just give you a quick overview of our agenda, what we're going to cover. So I'll give you a bit of background into myself and hopefully why you should listen to me based on experience. I'll, just in case anyone isn't familiar, I'll just quickly talk about Fiverr, who we are, what we do. Then we'll delve into our approach to influencer marketing. Then we'll talk about the Fiverr Creator Economy Guide, which we've just recently launched. And then we'll talk about why influencers should be a part of a brand's marketing mix as well. So first off, yes, my name is Blaine Doherty. I'm a brand and influencer marketing manager here at Fiverr. I have coming up on 7 years experience of influencer marketing, working with content creators across a range of subject areas on behalf of a range of brands. 5 years of my time is spent working at ad agencies, partnering content creators with B2C, B2B brands. And for the past 2 years, I've been here at Fiverr. My role is mainly focused on influencer marketing strategy, activating campaigns, and then also tracking ROI, our return on investment for every influencer activation we have. I wanted to include a hot take, which is balancing brand needs with audience interests is key to the success of influencer marketing. If anyone wants to challenge me on that, we can take it in the questions at the end. So what is Fiverr? Fiverr is a global marketplace connecting individuals, businesses with freelancers offering thousands of digital services. If you can think of it, if you have a need for it, then you can find a freelancer on Fiverr to make it happen. Fiverr operates as very similar to a search engine. If you need a specific service, you can type it in on our platform, and you can also include your budget you have available, the timeline required for delivery of your work, and then see a whole range of talented freelancers suggested for that specific project. It's for personal use, but also for business applications as well. So looking at our approach to influencer marketing. So whenever we're considering an influencer to partner with, we want to think about the 4 dimensions of influence. So this would be our main methodology. So we would call it RARA for short: reach, authority, relevance, accessibility. So looking at reach, first of all, whenever you mention reach, people tend to think of that big shiny number. You know, someone has millions upon millions of followers, fans, which all sounds well and good. But how many members of that audience actually fall into the audience we wish to target? So it's more so qualified reach than reach overall. That's what we want to prioritize. Then we also want to look at authority. So how trusted is someone's expertise in the topic? You might trust a content creator who's in the beauty sphere to recommend you a lipstick, but you might not trust him or her to recommend you a car because that's not something they have expressed interest or expertise in. So we want to partner with people who are authoritative in what we want to create. Relevance. This person ultimately needs to be relevant for the conversation you wish to have. If we are focused on promoting, let's say, music services on Fiverr, we want to ensure that our individual has, of course, authority, but relevance within the music area of interest. And then finally, accessibility. It's something that I think people don't often tend to consider, but how willing is an influencer to work with your brand? Obviously very important, but then also, have they previously been a detractor of your brand, or have they recently partnered with a competitor? Very important things to keep in mind, because if they have been a detractor or if they have partnered with a competitor recently, it undermines the authenticity of any partnership you would look to have with them. So as part of our focus within creator and influencer marketing, we wanted to learn more about how certain creators are getting involved within the creator economy and launching their businesses, leveraging their followings to be able to launch these businesses and become entrepreneurs in their own right. And we also really wanted to understand how someone can maybe spread themselves too thin. For example, not everyone knows how to establish an e-commerce website. So if you are launching your own merchandise as a major content creator, who would you be looking to help you with those services? And that's where the freelancer connection came into play with Fiverr, and that's why we wanted to launch the Fiverr Creator Economy Guide. I'm fairly certain someone may be sharing a link to the guide as we're speaking here, so you can take a look at it as well. We interviewed 11 content creators across different markets, areas of interest, and also wanted to get people with different sizes of followings as well. And within that, from our interviews, we had 9 sort of key common insights and themes that we were seeing. And I'm just going to run through these now and provide a bit of color background on each of the points. So the first one does seem a little bit obvious: know when to start your business. But it's very interesting because it was different for each of our creators, but there were some common themes among that. So we had passion was a key aspect, and that's for individuals who always knew they were going to become entrepreneurs or create content around a specific subject matter, to people who had a passion but did not launch their business until later in life. And I think a great example is Stephen Bartlett. He's pretty well known in the United Kingdom. He's on our version of Shark Tank, what we call it Dragon's Den. A very well-established entrepreneur who always knew he was going to go into business for himself to become a successful entrepreneur. He knew he had the passion, the want, the drive to do that as a young person. And then we have Tori Gerbig, who's a US fashion-focused creator who has launched a very successful e-commerce business, who mentions that her knowing when to launch her business came later in life, and it was basically due to financial circumstance, as she wanted to generate more money for her family. But the passion for her area of interest remained constant throughout her life. So passion was kind of that key current thing. Positioning yourself as a leader, not just a creator. All of the content creators were super clear on the fact that establishing authority within your subject is incredibly important, because with that, you'll be able to develop your following. You'll be able to be taken seriously by brands if they're looking to partner with you for work, and people will begin to sort of pay more attention and take you more seriously when it comes to looking at your content. Finding team members who can help you, and this is where the connection to Fiverr came in quite nicely. We had quite a few of our content creators who had leveraged freelancers on the Fiverr platform previously to help them deliver specific projects that they didn't necessarily know how to do themselves. So whether it is that e-commerce website or website in general, any other sort of SEO, search engine optimization as examples, they were able to find those team members on the Fiverr platform. Handling the ups and downs. I think the 2008 economic crisis was referenced, and brands might be decreasing marketing investment during tumultuous economic times. And as a result, content creators, people within the creator economy need to diversify their social media channels that they're working on, generating ad revenue as an example. So being prepared to handle those ups and downs. Focus on your skills, let experts do the rest. That connects back to finding team members who can help you. There was an element of stretching yourself too thin can be have a really negative impact on your work and your ability to create top quality content. So engaging those experts to help you deliver whatever projects you need that you're not capable of doing. And Fiverr was the focus there for that. Don't just create content for fans, create for yourself too. This basically boils down to having fun with the content that's created. Otherwise, this can become very quickly, for want of a better word, a job that you don't enjoy doing. So being able to prioritize yourself, what you find interesting within the content or your subject matter is incredibly important. Scaling your business. This isn't abundantly clear to a lot of creators, and it's some of the themes that we saw from the interviews. It was mainly focused on leveraging new platforms. So the world of social media is ever-changing, constantly growing. So being prepared to scale your business, whether it comes to developing your content for another platform. TikTok maybe 4 or 5 years ago was the emerging platform as an example. That's sort of being ready to develop yourself within a new platform as an example there. Finding the best opportunities in the creator economy. So whether it's, I think we had drop shipping referenced, we had Web3 referenced. I think people would need to be very clear on the fact that there are new business opportunities available within the creator economy constantly, whether that is brand partnerships, whether it's launching your own line of merchandise, whether it's leveraging your skills and expertise to become a source of guidance for brands or budding entrepreneurs. There are different opportunities within the creator economy. And then the final point was learning to collaborate with other businesses. I mean, this connects really nicely to our 4 dimensions of influence. That's something to prioritize as creators when you're looking to work with other brands, businesses. And I think maintaining authenticity is the key point from that as well. And then just wanted to touch on why influencer marketing should be a part of a brand's marketing mix. So we have some supporting stats here. People trust the recommendations that are coming from influencers. Now, that's not necessarily all influencers. As with every industry, you have positive, you have negative. I think that mainly is focused on people who prioritize authenticity and authority relevance within the content they're creating. We're seeing that the emerging generation, Gen Zers who are developing more purchasing power have made purchases. 33% of them within the US have made a purchase from an influencer's recommendation in the past 3 months. Again, that boils down to trust and authority within a subject area. And then finally, 89% of marketers currently engaging influencers will maintain or increase budgets in 2023. These marketers are parts of businesses. Businesses are there to make a profit. If influencer marketing was not working, we would not have people consistently either maintaining their budget within that space or looking to increase that budget. And then I'd say my final point is influencer marketing, influencers themselves, content creators are social media natives. They know platforms in and out probably better than a lot of brands or individuals working on behalf of brands do. And I think they are in a very unique space to have such an engaged audience, command attention of an audience. And whenever they are leveraged properly, I think that influencers can drive sort of full funnel success for any form of brand. And that's me. I'll probably stop sharing now.
Thanks, Blaine. Thanks for that. If folks have questions or observations, definitely just click that raise your hand emoji. I'll do my best to get to you. While folks are collecting those questions, Blaine, I have a question for you. What are influencers right now demanding or asking of platforms like Fiverr in terms of how they want to be more fully supported by you guys?
Yeah, great question. So and this is actually mentioned within the report as well, the Creator Economy Guide. From 2001 to 2022, we've actually seen a huge increase in search terms for TikTok influencer. I think that's up by 48%. We have influencer in general is up by around, I think, 28%. The sort of traffic is there for it. And I think whenever it comes to Fiverr's side of things, whenever influencers are leveraging our platform, trying to find freelancers to help them deliver products, they want what everyone else wants, which is a consistent sort of high quality service, whether it's from the freelancers themselves or from the Fiverr customer support team. And that's something that we've been really focused on trying to provide to everyone, not, regardless of their social following, if it's, millions to zero, whatever it is. And I think we're still looking to try and build out our service offerings at Fiverr as well to make them more relevant and tailored. And I think a great example of that is we've just launched our photography services within Fiverr. So for example, if you are a fashion-focused content creator, you can now hire a professional photographer on Fiverr if you happen to be within their locale to be able to take top quality photographs of yourself or headshots or whatever it is. And I think that's one way in which we're trying to appeal more to the needs established by these people.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to jump the queue with my question. Blaine, do you have a sense of, when I think of Fiverr, I think of it as a creative space where creatives go. And I've hired people on Fiverr that fit our description of the creator economy. And I kind of think of it as a place where creators that want to be in the creator economy can easily get their start. Do you have a sense of how many creators, I know that's a tough number, that fit our description, the one I gave you earlier, of the creator economy? How many are on the Fiverr platform? And I know you guys are global too, so it won't map to our numbers, but it just seems like there are a lot of, unlike other, I think you probably may be the leading platform for creators in the traditional freelance, in the traditional online talent marketplace space.
Yeah, we are the largest freelance platform online. And I think while I don't have it in front of me, the total number of freelancers that are active on the Fiverr platform, I know that we have north of 550 different category areas within the platform itself. And then within each of those areas, we have a range of freelancers of different quality at different price points to be able to deliver projects within that, also across different geographic locations, which, you know, it helps from a global perspective. If you're based in Egypt and you need a freelancer, you can find someone within the Mediterranean geographic area to help you, and you're not necessarily relying on someone with a massive time difference, let's say, as a basic example.
Yeah, I was trying to get at people that would fit our description of the creator economy, people that are creating digital content. If you had any rough numbers on that.
So whenever we have content creators on the platform, we have from videographers to photographers, and then we also have people who are offering influencer marketing services on the Fiverr platform as well. So we're definitely seeing a massive uptick, especially in photography. As I just mentioned, it's one of our services. But yeah, whenever it comes to content creation, that's definitely huge. And we also have people who are focused on whether it's blog writing, blog posts, longer form article writing, and that can be across different languages as well as people providing, you know, voiceover content or piece to camera content as well.
Yeah, we hired a voiceover artist once, and that was great. That was fun. So thank you.
Nice. Thanks, Steve. All right. We've got Antonio has a question about something going on in the market, then Faye, and then Steve, and then Balaji and Ben. So Antonio, you had a question in the chat?
Oh yeah, hi everyone. So it was just a really brief, maybe unrelated question. I'm not really sure how it relates to influencer marketing, but my general, question was with the Bud Light campaign and everything that it went. I was just curious if Blaine feels that it was a good thing or if it was a bad thing. Just like it's not necessarily questioning the hot take that you mentioned, Blaine, but I feel it's a very fruitful topic to address, especially through the eyes of marketing.
Ultimately, I think it's a bit of a rock and a hard place, to be quite honest. I think there's a rationale behind what Bud Light was trying to do, which, promote inclusivity, which is fantastic. But they've also seemed to leave, I think Dylan Mulvaney was the name of the individual, kind of out to dry now that we have a lot of negativity rearing its ugly head. I think it'll definitely form a very interesting marketing case study for anyone studying the marketing space for years to come. But yeah, I think ultimately we're all talking about it, so there's an element of success there. Whether it would be referred to success by the brand, that remains to be seen. But yeah, it's definitely a really difficult position they've put themselves in.
Yeah, thanks, Blaine. Faye Goldstein, you had a question about purchasing power.
Yeah, I just was wondering, hi everyone. I think this question should be directed to Steve or folks that have some real deep research into this. But one of the pushbacks we've been getting is the concern of purchasing power from the standpoint of creators and freelancers for tools or utilities that are focused towards them. It might just be kind of a preconceived notion about the world of freelance, but I'm just kind of interested in seeing if there are any metrics or numbers or research that's kind of showing, okay, this is the average amount that freelancers or creators are willing to spend on tools that would help them in their businesses. So we can use it as a benchmarking maybe for how we're pricing our product.
Yeah, there's a lot of data on freelancers in general on that topic, and I'll see if I can dig something up for you. Send me an email on that. I'm at, I'll put my email address There's not a lot specific to creators yet. But it is coming because of the startup. So I don't think we can, I'm not aware of anything specific to creators on that topic yet. I'm sure there will be soon, but there is data on freelancers in general that I could connect you with.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, Steve, if you can include that, send it to us and we'll get it out in the show notes too.
Okay, and we'll put the presentation in the show notes, right?
Yeah, great. Thank you. Steve Rader, you had a question about skills?
Yeah, I'm just always interested in where the upskilling and where people are getting more skills. And you mentioned there is this like the success in getting more expertise. I'm just curious from a platform perspective, are there starting to be more offerings for, you know, how to generate AI bots, you know, or whatever the new skill is? Are those starting to be included in the platforms? Are the platforms starting to actually take on the enabler role to attract freelancers, since that's kind of some of the equation?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, Fiverr Learn is something we've offered for quite some time, helping people learn more about specific subject matter, whether it's photography, as a basic example. I think one thing that's super important for us is the community aspect within Fiverr. We have a global community of freelancers all over the world, and we'll regularly run, whether it's upskilling events, let's say, within specific markets to help develop that sense of community, of course, but help people learn from each other, you know, what works well from, again, as an example, like a photography perspective, where can I go to you know, get the best shots. These are just basic examples, but I think it's something that we're super focused on because the platform is only as good as the talent that's available. And we're really prioritizing the development of talent where possible. And of course, that in and of itself can come from freelancers having different jobs on the platform, being hired for different jobs. Getting that experience, getting that, you know, reviews, peer reviews, user reviews on the Fiverr platform, what worked well, what didn't work so well. And I think, yeah, that's the platform itself is well geared towards that.
So two follow-ons real quick. It sounds like you do see utilization of those learning tools at a fairly good clip, and you're seeing the collaboration. Second part to that is, when you say you get the community together, are you using contests to get them to engage together? Like, what's your mechanism to get them to?
I think sometimes contests can be an aspect of that, but it's more so a general interest in wanting to learn. So I think, you know, a good example of this is we offer a lot of webinars and support groups to educate our community. And recently we had a webinar on AI. I think we're all familiar with the acronym, but some of us may not really know the applications. I'm not as well versed in it. But yeah, I think that's something that there's a major interest from freelancers on the Fiverr platform to learn more about, you know, how are we going to leverage AI services? And we now have an AI vertical within the Fiverr platform. But yeah, that's just another example.
Yeah, and I would add a lot of other people are producing skills, you know, sites like Skillshare and Udemy and folks like that. And then a lot of the successful creators have also their own programs for teaching less successful creators how to be more successful. So there is a lot of skill training going on out there.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. Ben, and then Balaji.
So I had a question for from Fiverr's perspective. Are you seeing a specific sector of customers like large enterprises or startups? Like, what is the distribution looking like? And what are specific industries that you've seen a growth in these creators, these companies coming looking for creators?
Yeah, so I think I'll take the last part of the question first because it's fresh in our mind. I think realistically, whenever it comes to looking for content creators, the services available on the platform are great. They can be super useful, but I would always wish that people are adhering to something similar to what we've just covered within the dimensions of influence to ensure that they're relevant for them and they're not just leveraging content creators based on the fact that they have 1 million followers. I think that's probably my own personal point of view on that. But whenever it comes to the sort of split between the size of companies, SMBs, individual entrepreneurs, I think within the platform we see a real range. It's kind of difficult to provide a specific number, to be perfectly honest with you. And of course, the business development can be very different across markets. And because we are a global platform, it can be maybe, and this is just an example, maybe more individual entrepreneur focused within one specific market, and then maybe more SMB, small to medium business focused within maybe a more developed market. I think the US, UK are probably great examples of that. I think Germany as well is another good example of that. One thing we are currently, we have a difference as well within our offering between, so Fiverr itself, the Fiverr marketplace is, available for everyone. But then we also have Fiverr Business, which again, it can be available for everyone, but it is more tailored to the needs of, let's say, medium businesses to larger enterprises. For example, you can hire someone for 6 months. If you need a consistent copywriter across a campaign, you can find them on Fiverr, hire them, and engage them for that period of time. So I think the platform itself is built really well to address the needs of multiple businesses, but providing an insight on the sort of enterprise level breakdown of users is probably quite difficult and would vary across market. I hate to be general in the response.
Thanks, Blaine. Balaji?
I don't think it's any surprise to most of the people on the call as to what the topic of my question is, which is generative AI. Other than the fact that, it will generate some near-term additional demand for generative AI skills, there might be some value shift to AI from people in their effort. Which outcomes do you see or foresee some of that value shift happening where people will use generative AI for blog posts or content creation or design? And which outcomes do you see will create new demand coming into the platform because of generative AI? And how do you see the net being positive to you versus negative?
I'm glad you're asking an easy one. My quick answer is I don't know. We've been experimenting with generative AI quite a bit, and I was mentioning in the breakout, we recently did a project that we used it to help us, sort of in a co-pilot mode, and it was productive at that. At the end of the project, it was a small project on market analysis, and it was gated. We actually decided, and we just tried to use ChatGPT-4, and we gave the whole project to the AI to do. And when the AI was done, their results were pretty good, but wrong at a number of levels. Anyway, we presented both our results and the generative AI results to our client, who preferred our results, so that was good. And
for now, Steve.
For now, yeah. But what I came away with, at least in the near term, which my near term sort of the next 5 years, was that it made us
more like it now. Go ahead.
It made us more productive. And more productive is good, but it made enough mistakes and it was problematic enough that I'm not fearing about replacement in our case. As you get into these other artistic endeavors, I think it has kind of a similar pattern where in the near term, at least, it's going to make people more productive. If it's more productive and it makes things more efficient, we tend to use more of it and cheaper. And I go back to any automation tool. And so I do think it's a good aid, but it will cause a fair amount of economic dislocation. And that's a nice way of saying people are going to lose their jobs along the way. And so my quick answer is kind of both. And I don't know, Blaine, do you have a?
Yeah, Blaine, let me add a little bit to that, right? So let's say if, like pre-generative AI, I would have paid somebody 20 hours of, some dollar amount equivalent of 20 hours of work to generate a blog post. I'm now assuming that they're going to use generative AI, or I've used generative AI to create the first draft, and I'm going to pay them $10 or five hours of work or 10 hours of work. Are you seeing some of that compression already, or how are you thinking about this as a company?
Yeah, great question. So I think, I mean, the first port of call, to be quite honest, is focusing on the fact that we as a platform have seen a huge increase in the amount of searches for AI. I think it's over 1,000% increase in searches across the platform. We're also seeing talent shift their services on the platform from what they were previously offering into something that's more focused towards AI, prompt engineer for better chat GPT prompts is a basic example there. We also have like fact checkers on Fiverr to help support that. I think clients and businesses are super focused at the minute on Fiverr on looking for freelance experts skilled in using specific generative AI tools, whether it's Jasper, GPT, but others are also looking for ways to integrate AI into their businesses. And I think within our AI services that we offer on the platform, there's such a range there for anyone looking to get involved within the AI space. So I think, it could be data analysis to understand where customer bases lie or customer trends. It could also be like a chatbot for consumer interactions. I think our main thing within our outlook for the AI services that we offer is that AI it's more of a tool to unleash creativity and productivity, similar to whether it's Photoshop or Pro Tools as basic examples. We see it as an extension of a human artist for the most part, and think that that's a really good way for AI to sort of develop, be leveraged, and people who are really skilled in leveraging AI services are going to be in great demand in the future, and that's the main reason why we launched our new AI service as well. Hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Blaine. John Windsor, take us home. Oh, you're on mute still.
This has been really awesome. Thanks, Steve. Always, Blaine, great to meet you. I love this stuff. So I've been working on this book, Open Talent, and one of the things we've been really struggling with is trying to create an ecosystem of all these kind of, all these new, workers that are doing things on their independent contractors, let's say, or micro entrepreneurs we've been thinking about. And I want to throw the eminent, John Younger in here too. How does this ecosystem go together? I always have a hard time separating out, where does freelance leave and creator start? I mean, I have so many friends that are, creatives from my ad agency days that are really freelancers, but they look at themselves as creators, right? It's a mindset versus an activity. Like, to me, I think creators have become an activity on social media, whereas in the world I'm from, creator was somebody that you're being creative for a client. So that's one question. And then the other metrics are, this kind of what we've coined as in this group as the open talent economy is the higher end knowledge work, and the gig economy. It's very much a squishy area, right? Like creator, freelancer, gig worker, all that stuff. So any last thoughts? I know we're at time, but anybody wants to stay around.
Can I give just one example, John, of exactly what you're talking about and how
wonderful it is?
The example, Blaine, I doubt that you know this person, but I'm a grandfather. I have 4 grandkids, 2 are 4 years old, 1 is 2 years old, and 1 is 18 months. And at their 2-year mark, we create a book for each of them, little children's book for each of them. And it turns out that the lady that is my partner for this is a lady in Bangladesh that the first time we did the book, it was about $110. Most recent time we did the book, it was $250, and it was a hell of a lot better. And John, to your point, this lady moved from a gigster to a creator and artist who's moved her entire family into the middle class over the past 3 years. And some of the credit has got to go to Fiverr for what it's done, directly or indirectly, to help this lady learn to manage her business. And I can't tell you how beautiful it is. I think that there are an awful lot of cases where you know, we overstate the number of people making $1 million. I don't care about anybody making $1 million as a creator. What I love is an awful lot of people making $20,000 that they didn't have before, or taking care of their family in a way. And Blaine, one of the comments that I'd make to you is you got to find more ways to love these people, because there are literally millions of them. We're elitist pigs in the way that we think about freelancing. You don't have a BA from an elite school or a PhD, you're an asshole. But what about all of these wonderful people that are making their way into the economy in a big way because of the opportunity that we give them? And that for me is wonderful. And Blaine, you as an example of a guy that's recognizing them and helping them to raise up, you know, you deserve a lot of credit for that. So that's for me, John.
I love it. Always, John. I love that. Any other last comments? It's such a great discussion. Blaine, you want to close?
I would just chime in and say, like, thank you very much, John. I think, you know, an example of something that we always try and do to uplift the community, celebrate the individuals that are putting in this hard work, is within any form of content that we create as the Fiverr brand within large content creators, so influencers on YouTube, Instagram, whatever platform, we always prioritize calling out the freelancers on the platform who have helped deliver this really good work. And
don't forget the little guys. That's the big guys. Stop looking at the big guys. Look at the little guys, because that's the economic engine for freelancing.
Exactly. And what always warms my heart is whenever we have a YouTube video that goes live, it gets, let's say, 2 million views as an example, and we have the freelancer who's the top comment who said, you know, I loved working on this, and then they'll probably include a little link into their Fiverr profile. And I mean, 2 million eyes on a video, that's, you know, that's fantastic exposure for that individual. And that's something we always try and prioritize within our content as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, John. That's the perfect way to end things. It's always a good thing when we go over, because it means that the conversation and the dialogue matters and it's important. So thank you all for being here. Blaine, Steve, thanks for your insights. Join us on our next call on May 4th. We're going to have Randstad promoting and launching their new research. So stay tuned. It's good to get the staffing side of things. So look out for that. And you'll get the recording and all the show notes in the next day or so on openassembly.com.
Thanks, Ashley. As always, you did an awesome job. Love you guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye, guys.
Bye.